I'll always have your back. If you think Labour are going to win, start saving. Mark my words, Labour will raise your taxes. It's in their DNA, your work, your car, your pension.
Thank you. Okay,
you name it,
sorry,
Labour will tax it. The contrast is clear at this election, because Keir Starmer will reverse all of the changes I've made. That's going to cost everyone. He would put up everyone's taxes by £2,000. Stick to our plan, and illegal migrants will be on those planes. With Labour, they will be out on our streets. What will you do with people who come here illegally? What will you do with them? Well, very simply, what will you do with them? I've got a plan to deal with it because I'm going to put people on planes. What are you going to do with them? I can tell everyone what I'm going to do. In 5 weeks, either Keir Starmer or I will be Prime Minister. I'll cut your taxes, protect your pension and reduce immigration. I have a clear plan for a more secure future for you.
Good day and welcome back to British Report. Right everyone, prepare yourselves because the political pressure cooker in Downing Street has just reached its absolute limit. We are witnessing a moment of pure, unadulterated exposure as a high-stakes broadcast on GB News has just ripped the mask off the government's flagship Smash the Gangs policy. Sir Keir Starmer is reportedly exploding with fury behind the scenes after Nana Akua and Tom Harwood halted their programme to deliver a live breaking update that completely undermines every promise made by this administration regarding our borders. The image of the sensible, in-control Prime Minister has been shattered by a single 12-hour weather window that saw the channel turned into a motorway for illegal crossings. It wasn't just a report, it was a forensic autopsy of a failing strategy, conducted in real time as the border force vessels struggled to keep up with a surge that has now pushed the annual total past the staggering 40,000 mark. The drama unfolded with a sense of urgency that you simply don't see on the state-funded broadcasters. Nana Akua and Tom Harwood were forced to cut their scheduled programming to cross live to Dover, where veteran correspondent Mark White was standing on the cliff tops as the gale force winds began to pick up. He revealed the exclusive and shocking truth that while the government has been busy celebrating its supposed crackdown on criminal gangs, more than 500 migrants had successfully made the illegal crossing in just a 12-hour period. White's report was devastating because it bypassed the official spin and relied on the raw data collected by his own producer, who had been manually counting the migrants as they were brought into Dover Harbour. He described the scene as the Border Force vessel Typhoon pulled into the harbour, carrying the final group of the day, bringing the count for that tiny weather window to nearly 500 and pushing the total for the last 24 hours towards 600. This is a level of influx that makes a mockery of the Smash the Gang slogan, proving that the only thing actually managing our borders right now is the British weather. This exposure is a massive blow to Sir Keir Starmer because it highlights the fundamental lie at the heart of the current immigration policy. Mark White was blunt in his assessment, stating that regardless of what politicians tell the public, the government's policy to defeat criminal gangs is clearly making no difference. The obvious reality is that the migrants and the gangs are simply waiting for the wind to drop. The moment the weather window opens, the boats launch in a coordinated surge that overwhelms our local resources. By the time the weather closed in again and the crossings stopped, the damage was already done. The fact that the number of small boat migrants has passed 40,000 this year is a statistical catastrophe for a Prime Minister who promised a reset and a new era of border security. It suggests that far from smashing the gangs, the government is merely presiding over a more efficiently managed arrivals hall, where the success of the policy is entirely dependent on how many days it rains in the Channel. The public reaction to this live exposure has been one of pure, unbridled outrage, with viewers flocking to social media to vent their frustration at what they see as a total betrayal of the national interest. Comments have been pouring in, with many sarcastically repeating the "stop the boats they said" mantra that has become a millstone around the government's neck. There is a growing sense of desperation among the British public, with some even calling for the ultimate escalation, putting British soldiers on the beaches of France to protect our borders and physically stop the boats from launching. This isn't just fringe talk anymore. It is the voice of a population that feels its security is being treated as a secondary concern to technocratic schemes that don't seem to work. The exposure of these lies on live television by Nana Akua and Tom Harwood has provided a platform for this fury, showing that while Starmer might be exploding with anger at the hosts, the real explosion is coming from the voters who feel they have been lied to for the last 18 months. The weakness exposed here is perhaps more damaging than the policy failure itself. It shows a government that is reactive rather than proactive, a Prime Minister who is aware of the problem but lacks the backbone, as Kemi Badenoch recently put it, to take the radical steps necessary to secure a sovereign nation. Every time a border force vessel like the Typhoon pulls into Dover with another 100 people on board, the authority of the Prime Minister is diminished. The Smash the Gangs policy is increasingly looking like a PR exercise designed for the Westminster bubble rather than a serious attempt to solve a national crisis. As the 40,000 mark is passed, The question isn't whether the policy is working, it's whether the government even has a policy beyond hoping for bad weather. Starmer's fury at being exposed on GB News is the anger of a leader who knows he has no answers, and as the 2026 local elections approach, this channel surge could well be the iceberg that sinks the Labour project once and for all. Thank you so much for watching.